At the dawn of the 20th century, when pharmacies sold only medicines and herbs, a young pharmacist had an idea that would change everything. Caleb Bradham, a man who wasn't chasing wealth, but simply wanted to create a drink that could refresh people on a hot summer day. He invented a formula he never imagined would become one of the most famous brands in history. But behind the bright name Pepsi lies a very different story. Caleb Bradham was born in 1867 in North Carolina, into a modest family living a simple life. From a young age, he dreamed of becoming a doctor and was fascinated by science and nature. He would spend hours reading books about plants and herbs, about how to use them to treat illnesses, and about simple medical devices that could help people. Circumstances, however, were not in his favor. After a short period of studying medicine, he had to leave university due to financial problems. His family struggled to make ends meet, and Caleb felt the weight of responsibility. But he did not give up on his dream. Instead, he decided to find another path that combined his passion for health with his desire to serve people. Since his dream was closely tied to the world of health and medicine, he decided to open a small pharmacy in his hometown of New Bern. A modest pharmacy with a simple wooden facade, but to him, it was everything. For Caleb, it was not just a place to sell medicine, but a space for experimentation and innovation, a place where he could test his small mixtures and inventions that might improve people's lives. Caleb was different from other pharmacists. He didn't see the pharmacy merely as a place to sell medicines. He saw it as a space to serve and delight people. He loved experimenting, mixing flavors and ingredients, searching for something that would make his customers smile on hot summer days. He closely observed their reactions, took notes, and repeated experiments over and over until he found something that satisfied both him and others. One day, in 1898, while experimenting with a new formula containing sugar, water, a blend of flavors, and a touch of soda, the drink was born. He had no idea that this small mistake would mark the beginning of one of the greatest stories in modern commerce. Initially, his mixture was just an attempt to create a refreshing drink to serve his customers during the sweltering summer, something to bring them comfort and relief after a long day under the sun. Caleb offered his drink to customers, and soon people started talking about it throughout the town. They would come just to try that unique drink that refreshed them instantly. People soon called it Brad's drink, after Caleb Bradham. The taste was unusual at first, but delicious, and gradually the demand grew beyond his expectations. Customers even began coming from nearby areas just to taste this drink, which had quickly become the talk of the town, until some would wait daily at the pharmacy just to get a cup of Bradham's drink. Over time, Caleb decided to give his drink a new name, one that carried a deeper meaning than mere refreshment. He chose Pepsi Cola, inspired by the word dyspepsia, meaning indigestion, and the enzyme pepsin, which aids digestion. He believed his drink not only refreshed but also helped soothe the body. A simple name, yet one that would become a brand recognized worldwide in the years to come. As demand increased, his small pharmacy could no longer produce the quantities required. So he decided to establish a small company to manufacture and sell his drink. In 1902, he officially registered the Pepsi Cola Company and began selling it in special glass bottles. He did everything himself, mixing ingredients, bottling, and delivering them to nearby stores. He would spend long hours each day in his small factory, overseeing every step, ensuring the quality of the ingredients, the cleanliness of the bottles, and that every bottle reaching the customer maintained the flavor and taste he had created. At the time, Coca-Cola had already taken the lead and was well known across America. But Caleb was undeterred. He believed what he offered was different, that Pepsi's taste and refreshing flavor could find its own audience. And indeed, sales began to rise. The company expanded rapidly, and he now had distributors, promotional signs, and a growing sales network. His dream was being realized, step by step. But as they say, not everyone who rises knows how to stay at the top. World War I came, and everything changed. Sugar prices skyrocketed as the world faced economic chaos. Sugar was the main ingredient in Pepsi. Caleb had to buy it at high prices, hoping the market would soon return to normal. But it was an extremely costly decision. After the war, sugar prices suddenly collapsed, and Caleb suffered massive losses. The stockpile he had purchased at high prices became nearly worthless. The small company could not withstand the shock. Debts piled up, sales stopped, and eventually, in 1923, Caleb had no choice but to declare bankruptcy. Imagine that scene. A man who had created a product loved by people, who had built a company from scratch, lost everything in an instant. He owned nothing. Even the name Pepsi Cola, which he had invented with his own hands, was sold at public auction to pay off debts. A name born in his pharmacy was no longer his. He returned to his first profession, a simple pharmacist in his small town. Each morning he would wake up to serve his customers, all the while watching from a distance how the name he had created was growing without him. He wasn't angry, just sad. He had lost his dream, but not his spirit. After years of quiet, Caleb Bradham passed away in 1934 without earning a single dollar from his invention that had become a global brand. But the story did not end there. Another man bought the rights to the name Pepsi Cola and rebuilt the company with a different approach. He learned from past mistakes and launched a massive marketing campaign aimed at young people. Over time, the company grew again and became the true competitor of Coca-Cola. In every street, every country, every advertisement, the Pepsi-Coca-Cola rivalry became fiercer. Yet behind every opened bottle of Pepsi today, there is a name almost forgotten by the world: Caleb Bradham. The man who was neither a businessman nor a marketing genius, but just a pharmacist who believed that happiness could be bottled.